Okay, good morning. So we are looking at a brisket, which has been my mortal enemy for a long time, but we're going to go through this together. Couple parts to a brisket. So this one in particular is a USDA choice. There are three types. You have prime, which is the best, most marbling, everything looks good. You have choice, which is a little bit less, and then select a little bit before that. But it's all about how you cook it. So parts to a brisket. So this is the top of the brisket, I guess you could say. They would consider this the flat, which is flat. So, and then this here is the point, which has got a lot more of a muscular buildup to it. This sucker is huge, kind of hard to see, but it's about 6 inches thick. So we're gonna definitely do some trimming. And then you flip it over. Oh my God, this sucker's heavy. This is the fat cap. So you want the fat cap. Actually, the trimming looks pretty good here. It's about, you want to keep it to about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch thick. That's the fat cap right there. You don't want to go too thick on that. So we're going to start trimming it up. Make sure you have a really sharp knife. Make sure your hands are clean and stable so you don't slip. And I'm going to start going after that point piece first. So, you know, this here, pretty soft. This here, pretty hard. So this hard fat right in here, it's not going to render down. So it's going to end up with having chewy pieces. So I'm going to end up cutting a lot off of this bad boy, but it's going to be worth it for a nice even cook. I'm going to almost flatten it. So let's see what we got here. Kind of start that out nice and easy. Get that marbling in there. So we started at 15 pounds. I'm going to cut a decent amount off. All this in here's got to go. All this hard fat. And cut all in here out. The reason I want to do this is kind of even out the cooking time for both sides. Already looking at a very long cook on this. About 90 minutes per pound, including the resting period. So this is going to take better part of a day. See all this in here? This is all hard fat. That's not going to cook down. Take that out. Now one of the things when you're done, what we'll do is we're going to round out the corners, but we're going to go ahead and make this a little bit neater. Cut a little bit off of here. Again, sharp knife is very important. Cut a little bit off of here. Now you don't have to do this, it just makes for a nicer presentation when you go to cut it later on. And cut off this little bit here. Alright, looking pretty good. We get rid of some of these pieces. All right, let's see what we got. All right, it's a little bit of hard fat here. I might want to take some of this out. And then we'll flip over to the other side and clean that up. May not be able to get all of it out, but I'll do the best that I can. Yeah, that just keeps going, so we're going to leave that on. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, trim up this side a little bit. You want to get, now the fat cap was on this side, so we're okay with having the fat there. This side here, you don't necessarily want it, so we're going to trim all this off. Again, this is all hard fat. This goes all the way through. Clean some of this off. Alright. That's looking pretty good there. So at this point, again, we're going to round off the corners to see this is a squarish corner. I'm going to kind of round that off. That way the very end of that corner doesn't cook faster than the rest. Everything's kind of all cooking even. A little rounded edge, that's all you need. Alright, next step we're going to do is we're going to season it up and then get it ready for the grill, but first we're going to have to weigh it. So we'll check that out and we'll come right back. Alright, so it is time to go ahead and put on your rub. Now you can just do simple kosher salt and pepper rub, equal parts, and put it on there. I just happen to have this stuff from Pit Boss. It's the prime beef and brisket rub. So what you want to do, actually before we get into that, this started out as almost a 16-pound brisket. It was 15.83 pounds, but after doing the trimming, making it look a little bit nicer, you're down to just about 11 pounds. So, you know, 11 pounds at 90 minutes per hour, I'm looking at, was that 17 and a half hours or 16 and a half hours for a cook. So, long time. I'm looking to serve at approximately 2 o'clock tomorrow, so I really kind of need to get on this soon. I want to be able to have it cook overnight, count for any potential flame outs on my smoker, and make sure I get it up to that 203 degree temperature before serving. And then obviously it's got to rest. So I'm going to start putting this rub on there. This is a technique I saw out of this book, which if you're into barbecue, and I highly recommend you get, it's the Franklin Barbecue Meat Smoking Manifesto. My wife got it for me for my birthday. I love it. So his technique basically, and I'm no pro, is you stand it up, you want to do the sides and obviously the bottom and the top, and you go through on a circular motion to get that meat on, or the seasoning on there. We'll do all the sides and then we'll do the bottom and then the top. right on the edges. And he was saying something along the lines of it keeps it from having too much salt or something in one spot. I'm not exactly sure. But you want to do this about an hour, at least an hour before you start cooking. And this will allow the meat to come up to room temperature. And as it does that, it's going to sweat, which I'll show you a little bit later, which will basically draw in some of the spice. And this will help also create a nice bark. Alright, let's do the top. Now, the fat cap, which is here, we're going to cook it with the fat cap away from the grill, basically on top. That'll help put some more moisture back into the brisket. I don't know if I'm doing so great with the circular motion here, but whatever. Lay it on there. I'll do a little shake there. Alright, so we're going to let this sit. Come back in an hour. Alright, we got this baby going at about 250. In the book it says you can do 275 for most cooks. That'll still give you a good mix of smoke and heat, but I can't do that, so I'm at 250. I know my smoker, and I know that on the left side of the smoker it's a little bit hotter than on the right side. So what I did is I put the point, which is the thicker end, over here on the left side where it's hotter, and the flat on the right side where it's not quite as hot, so hopefully they cook at about the same temperature. And you can see where the meat kind of sweat the spice into it. That's what it should look like when it's ready to go on the grill. And then you'll see over here, actually see that, that was originally on the fat cap, or not the fat cap, that hard fat pocket that I couldn't get out. So that's kind of one of the things you want to notice, is that you don't want that going on there because it's not going to absorb it. So see you in about 17 hours. Probably a little bit sooner than that for a progress update. Okay, it's 5:30, about 5.5 hours after we started it. It's hit the stall temperature. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So it's right about 160. We're going to wrap it up with butcher paper and let it continue to cook for a lot of more hours. Looking to get to 203 degrees.